For over a century, the tank has symbolized ground power, a steel behemoth dominating battlefields. But in an era defined by cheap, ubiquitous anti-tank drones and precision-guided munitions, its reign appears to be challenged. Recent conflicts demonstrate a stark shift. The survivability of heavy armor is rapidly diminishing. This investigation delves into the Pentagon's classified strategy to adapt, moving away from manned main battle tanks towards a future dominated by entirely autonomous, AI-driven unmanned ground vehicles, or UGVs. This transition isn't just theoretical, it's already underway, driven by evolving threats and technological breakthroughs. The vulnerability of traditional tanks is not merely anecdotal, it's an economic reality. According to analysis by the Congressional Research Service, an M1 Abrams tank, a cornerstone of U.S. armored might, costs approximately $10 million per unit. Contrast this with the cost of modern anti-tank weaponry. A single Javelin missile, capable of disabling such armor, is around $200,000. For longer-range strikes, an Pentagons missile carries a price tag of $1 million. The imbalance is clear. Adversaries can field multiple tank-killing systems for the price of a single tank, making attrition an unsustainable strategy for heavy armor. The conflict in Ukraine has provided a grim, real-world laboratory for these emerging threats. Data compiled by the Oryx database reveals that since 2022, over 3,000 tanks have been destroyed or captured. The primary culprits are not traditional tank-on-tank engagements, but rather a new breed of affordable, precise weapons, loitering munitions, FPV drones, and advanced anti-tank guided missiles, or ATGMs. These figures underscore a critical shift in battlefield dynamics, demonstrating unequivocally that even the most advanced legacy tanks struggle against modern, distributed, and often low-cost, aerial threats. In response to these stark realities, the U.S. Army is quietly accelerating its Robotic Combat Vehicle, or RCV, program. First conceptualized with prototypes emerging in 2020 from defense giants like General Dynamics Land Systems and BAE Systems, the RCV program aims to integrate robotic platoons directly alongside manned vehicles. While initial RCV operations involve manned control, the classified objective is a complete transition to fully autonomous, AI-driven operations. This represents a paradigm shift from augmenting human soldiers to potentially replacing them on the most dangerous front lines, fundamentally reshaping future ground combat doctrine. The RCV program is structured across distinct weight classes, each tailored for specific combat roles. The RCV Light is envisioned for reconnaissance and scouting, prioritizing speed and stealth. The RCV Medium is designed as a versatile weapon platform, capable of carrying various armaments from automatic cannons to anti-tank missiles. Looking further ahead, the RCV Heavy is projected as a future platform to carry larger payloads, potentially even mimicking the firepower of traditional tanks without the human crew. This modular approach allows for scalable robotic integration, adapting to diverse mission requirements and evolving threats. Central to the UGV revolution is artificial intelligence. These robotic combat vehicles leverage AI for far more than simple remote control. AI-powered navigation systems conduct real-time terrain analysis and sophisticated obstacle avoidance, allowing UGVs to operate autonomously in complex, dynamic environments. Advanced targeting systems, also AI-driven, can identify threats with precision, enabling rapid, accurate strikes. Furthermore, nascent swarm capabilities allow multiple UGVs to coordinate attacks, share sensor data, and distribute their presence, overwhelming adversaries and creating a networked advantage far beyond what manned vehicles can achieve. Unlike their human-crewed counterparts, UGVs are engineered from the ground up for survivability through stealth and agility. Their designs prioritize reduced thermal and acoustic signatures, making them significantly harder to detect by conventional sensors. Low-profile construction further minimizes their visual and radar cross-section. Crucially, the absence of the human crew means these vehicles don't require life support systems or extensive armor for crew protection, allowing for lighter, faster, and more maneuverable platforms. This enables high-speed stealth operations, infiltrating dangerous areas, or flanking enemy positions with reduced risk of detection and engagement. Beyond tactical advantages, the economic argument for UGVs is compelling. While specific costs are still being refined, projections estimate UGV unit costs between $1 to $2 million. This is dramatically lower than the $10 million price tag of a single M1 Abrams tank. This significant cost reduction allows for mass production, enabling military forces to field far greater numbers of robotic units. Furthermore, the absence of human casualties in UGV operations fundamentally alters the calculus of war, removing a critical political and social constraint often associated with traditional conflicts, making them potentially more deployable. The deployment of fully autonomous UGVs inevitably raises profound ethical and legal questions. The concept of killer robots operating without direct human intervention is a contentious issue. The Pentagon's current stance, as articulated in various policy documents, is to maintain a human in the loop for lethal decisions. However, the trajectory of AI development and the stated goal of fully AI-driven systems suggest a future where autonomous decision-making in combat could become standard. As one military ethicist noted, the line between human oversight and AI autonomy is blurring, and the implications for moral responsibility in warfare are immense. The timeline for this transformation is aggressive. After awarding a $24 million contract to Kinetic North America for RCV-like prototypes in 2023, and a $17 million contract to General Dynamics Land Systems for RCV medium prototypes in 2024, the U.S. Army targets 2025 for the deployment of its first operational robotic platoons. These initial units will likely still feature significant human oversight. However, the ultimate vision for the 2030s is the full integration of truly autonomous UGV fleets, capable of operating independently across complex battle spaces. This accelerated timeline signals a clear strategic commitment to unmanned ground combat. The Pentagon's quiet transition towards completely autonomous, AI-driven unmanned ground vehicles marks nothing less than a revolution in military affairs. The vulnerability of traditional main battle tanks to modern, cheap anti-tank weaponry has created an imperative for change. With their high-speed stealth, remote firepower, and potential for mass deployment at a fraction of the cost, UGVs are poised to rewrite battlefield rules. While ethical and operational challenges remain, the strategic direction is clear: the future of ground combat will be increasingly robotic, autonomous, and driven by artificial intelligence, fundamentally altering how wars are fought and won.